I've got a very short question that my mother had a bypass surgery in 2018 and she is hypertensive as well as diabetic and she is on these medicines. She Hello?
Yes, please go on, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, my short query from both the panelists is that my mother had a bypass surgery in 2018 and she is hypertensive and diabetic and taking the medicines for the same. In 2021 March, she developed COVID and was for 8 days she was in the hospital and released on April. Now, as a post effect of these diabetic as well as heart medicine, she has got a severe itching, which the doctors in the Fortis have also not been able to diagnose what is the cause of the itching. And due to this itching, she is being denied a vaccine that because she has got an allergy, we don't know whether Covaxin or Covishield is safe for her. Please, my question to both the panelists is, in case of an allergy where the cause of the allergy has not been detected, is Covaxin or Covishield safe for her and how safe for her?
Okay, I'm assuming, NP Singh, sir, that your mother, and I hope she has a quick recovery, is also above the age of 60, so is eligible right now. But Dr. Parikh, would you like to take that question first?
Oh, yes. People who have a history of allergies are warned that, they could have a potential allergic reaction. Normally, we don't worry about these, except that sometimes you can get a severe reaction, which is life-threatening. But I don't see a problem because usually, almost always, there's somebody on standby. There are a couple of drugs such as steroids, noradrenaline, which can be given to people having an allergic reaction. So I think under due medical watch, it should be okay for the lady to get her vaccine if she's eligible.
All right. Dr. Bagai, the other big announcement coming in yesterday was, of course, that we have now opened vaccination finally for those below the age of 18. Now, the question comes as if Bharat Biotech has gotten emergency approval for children from ages 12 to 18. What's the logic behind opening it right now to just children aged 15 to 18? Dr. Bagai, if you could share light on your views as to why that decision was taken.
Yeah, so I think the pediatric population is the largest cohort population in India. It's 45% of the Indian population of 138 crores, which is about 45 to 50 crores. So we cannot neglect that in trying to achieve community-acquired immunity or herd immunity, so to say. Children need protection because they carry the same viral load. They transmit as much as adults. 49% of children worldwide studies have shown to be asymptomatic or mild carriers. And an innocent child carrying the infection without knowing with any external manifestation or symptoms, in long term can have serious side effects. So we also know that children are the number one cause of household transmission into adults and parents and grandparents. So I think children need protection. They need to go back to school, to sports, get back to the normal life of personal interactions. And it's extremely important from the mental and psychological development. But we have to strategize. We know that this vaccine is approved from 2 years to 18 years. So I think 15 to 18, then going down to 12 to 15, and then going down to a lower age group will be a correct way forward. And also strategizing them from comorbid point of view. We know that children have a lot of comorbidities. We normally never talk about it because we always feel that adults have comorbidities, but children have a lot of comorbidities. There is worldwide studies again to show chronic asthma in children, which is a huge segment. Respiratory problems in children have a 6-fold increase in infection and mortality with regards to COVID. We also know now with this Omicron, the risk to children has been increased 6 times more. Worldwide studies have shown a huge infection of children as compared to the Delta. So it's the correct way forward is age stratification and comorbid stratification. This would take many months, but I must add that the Indian Association of Pediatrics and IMA must be involved because the best thing which pediatricians do is vaccinations. We've been doing it for the past decades and decades and hundreds of children every day. We are trained to do it. I think the government can have all hands on board and on behalf of all the pediatricians and indeed all doctors, I can safely say we would be extremely happy to put our hands in this drive to promote the vaccination as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Dr. Parikh, how would you address the vaccine hesitancy among parents when it comes to getting the teenage children vaccinated here. Some of it stems from, yes, a lot of confusion in terms of whether vaccines are needed for children or not to begin with. We have had, let's be honest, we have had a lot of conflictory voices coming in on that. Second, of course, as I pointed out, children from the age of 15 to 18 are mostly given in class 10 to 12 right now. They have their board exams coming up. A lot of parents have come out and said that we are not sure whether we want our children to take this risk and essentially be an experimental batch, their words, not mine, about dealing with a vaccine for children here. How would you address those concerns, Dr. Parikh?
Yeah, I would like to allay those apprehensions by telling parents to be well informed. Don't take our word for it. The evidence has been cumulative over 200 years. Vaccination has been around that long. Vaccination has managed to eradicate smallpox from our planet, thereby saving what is estimated to be over 1 billion lives. We've almost eradicated polio. And then again, all of us have received vaccination as children. In fact, when was the last time prior to this pandemic that adults got vaccinated?
Yes.
So there is enormous evidence about vaccination in children historically across time and also across our country. But also I'd like to tell parents that, the anti-vaxxers against children, that's nothing new. We talked about this in our vaccine book, looking at the history of vaccines, and some parents will be surprised to learn that almost 200 years ago, within, vaccination coming about, being invented and being made compulsory in the United Kingdom, there was a rally of 100,000 people. I mean, that's a huge number in London protesting against vaccination. So there is going to be a lobby of people who are vaccine deniers. There are people who are even COVID deniers, and they're getting more strident, surprisingly, with time. So parents, look at the evidence. Vaccines are safe for children. And my recommendation to you is that go ahead with the vaccination, but please look at the evidence yourself.
In Dr. Bagay, the other announcement or other promise that came in from the Prime Minister yesterday, which got a bit buried given the immediate news of the vaccination being open to kids and for healthcare workers, that is the development of a nasal vaccine and even an mRNA vaccine here. Very simply for our viewers, could you explain how important a step would be if we get a nasal vaccine available and even an mRNA vaccine in the near future?
Yeah, so just very quickly on the mRNA vaccine, it's not been an absolute new technology. mRNA has been used as far as a scientific platform since 1986, and it's a genetic code which is carried in a modified manner, which can be tweaked very quickly. mRNA vaccines have shown great efficacy internationally, not only in the priming doses but even in the booster doses. With regards to the intranasal vaccine, there are a lot of interesting studies which have shown that the intranasal vaccine actually stimulates what we call as the IgA, the mucosal, the surface immunity, which actually goes into your germ cell, which